Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another weekly broadcast from Franchise Voicebox, your franchising stories from Asia. My name is Robert Beausoleil, and I have with me Mr. Sean Ngo, who is the CEO and co-founder of Via Franchise Consulting. So we're happy to be speaking with Sean again. You know, in the last few weeks, we've been discussing the franchising industry and specifically various countries within Asia. And, you know, this week is going to be interesting. We're going to actually talk about three different countries: Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos. And, you know, we decided to speak about this group of countries together as they share a lot of similarities, at least when we talk about franchising. They're all fast developing countries located in Southeast Asia. And these emerging markets have a combined population of almost 80 million people. And for many industries, there is a serious lack of competition. So while they're often overlooked, as people talk about Korea or Japan first, you know, these three countries actually hold significant opportunities both for franchisors and also for franchisees. So, Sean, I think there's a lot of reasons that these three countries are very attractive markets for business. But what would you say kind of are the top reasons to franchise here?
Well, thank you, Robert. That's a great question, and you've pointed out quite a few good reasons why this market or why this region should be on the radar of most international franchisors. And really, when you look at Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos, they represent really the true remaining emerging markets in Southeast Asia. And they behave like that economically. I mean, it's a region that has, for the past decade, averaged anywhere from 7 to 10% net GDP growth rate per year. So you can imagine how that GDP growth rate, it's just the highest in Asia, bar none. Higher than China, higher than Vietnam, just higher than almost anybody on this planet, probably outside of the continent of Africa. That really has, really shined in the past decade. And, it's a combined marketplace of 80 million consumers, which is a massive, population when you look at all the opportunities it affords many international brands. You can see that iconic brands are already there. You will find a KFC, you will find Pizza Hut, you will find Domino's, Burger King, Texas Chicken, Starbucks, Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. For many iconic F&B and retail brands, you're starting to see quite a big presence. But again, because of the fact that most investors, most brand owners and franchisors typically look at markets like Vietnam or Thailand or the Philippines first, they often make the mistake of missing out on this truly fast emerging marketplace that is, like you say, full of opportunities for the right brands, especially given the size of the consumers, population, as well as the less competition that you face in these types of markets. So again, rising middle class that is expanding, and the fact that there are no franchise-specific laws make it one of the most easiest places to franchise your business.
Yeah. Yeah. So I agree. There's there is that lack of competition. There's those lack of restrictions and laws, and they're hungry. They're hungry for international brands, to come. So I think there's a good market in all three of these countries. But, if we want to talk about franchising here, what franchise sectors are the most attractive? What do you think, is going to work the best in these emerging markets?
Well, in all three countries, the population is quite young, amongst the youngest in in Asia. And really, what do young people like to do? They like to go out and eat. And so food and beverage is always a must in a region like this. It is always attractive. The spending is typically less with food and beverage, right? And so there isn't a lot of thinking that needs to be done. It's not like we're going to go out and buy a car or an apartment. So food and beverage almost always leads the interest levels when you look at markets like this, as well as many other markets. I think U.S. and Western brands have a unique opportunity in these types of markets, just because Western brands tend to equate to, for many of them, higher quality and just a bigger brand that they aspire to. So in many ways, whether you are in food and beverage, whether you are in education or retail, if you are a branded franchisor in your particular country and you have had success internationally, you should not avoid these markets. These markets are really present an opportunity to come first to market, right? So it's very rare that most brands have the ability to get first to market. Usually that is reserved for the larger players like the KFCs of the world or the Pizza Huts of the world. And again, you don't have to be a Western brand. I think in all of these markets, popular brands from Korea to Japan to Singapore to Taiwan and Hong Kong, all of these brands tend to do extremely well in this region, and especially so with Thai brands as well, just because they do share many similar cultures and history in the past. So there are lots of opportunities, in other areas like education and edutainment and recreational facilities that cater to children or young adults and families, as well as, a growing need for health and fitness types of businesses, as the population ages in the decades to come.
Yeah. That happens to all of us. We end up needing the fitness brands after the F&B ones. So thank you for that information. My last question, what kind of news do we have, interesting things happening in these three markets in the last couple of years?
Yeah, unsurprisingly, there has been some really big news out of this region just within this past year. Pizza Hut opened up its first stores in Cambodia, earlier this year. Late 2021, and they're going to be growing that throughout 2022. So it's been amazing news for that particular market, because I know that Pizza Hut has been looking at that market for a number of years now. Fashion retailer H&M plans to expand to its next Southeast Asian country, and that country is Cambodia. And so again, you're starting to see not only iconic brands in F&B, but also more iconic brands in other sectors like retail with H&M. And then also 7-Eleven, probably one of the most iconic brand in the world, right? And they are opening also again in Cambodia. So Cambodia seems to have grabbed most of the news recently, but these other markets we anticipate will also have similar news as we head throughout 2022.
Yeah. Well, thanks a lot, Sean, for that information. Thanks everybody for watching this week's video. They may not be the top population or the top of the GDP lists, but there really is huge potential in these emerging Southeast Asia markets. We hope you found today's information useful and informative. Please remember to hit the like button, Please subscribe to our channel so you don't miss next week's episode of Franchise Voicebox. You can always find the latest franchise brands that are available all across Asia, including Myanmar, Cambodia, and Laos, at our website, vfranchiseconsulting.com. And please feel free to email us anytime if you want some more information or you want to discuss franchise sales or any of the other consulting services available in Asia. It's info@vfranchiseconsulting.com. So thank you again for watching the video. Thank you for sharing that information with us, Sean. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you, Robert.